Good evening. So for this presentation, I decided to do mine on the case of the morally challenged AP clerk. So we'll just hop right over. As a brief summary of this case, what had happened was John was a CPA for a Big Four company, and then he decided to go into the private sector and to work for this solar company. As soon as he got there, it was him along with another CPA. They had discovered that an AP clerk had embezzled $250,000. So then it was up to John to decide if he was going to report that to the police or how that situation was going to be handled. One of the first questions we want to look at is, to whom do John and David owe their ultimate responsibility? So John Stanton, he was the CPA that had just come from the Big Four company, and then David Lasky, he is the owner, the CEO of this private company. Two things that I can immediately think of that they owe responsibility to is board of directors and shareholders. I think that would be common across the board in a lot of these different situations. And then one that really struck me was employees of the company. This made me think back to the Arthur Anderson incident where so many employees were left looking for jobs. And I think that it's very important for John and David to make the right decision to take care of these employees who have worked so hard, that they're in good hands, that they're taken care of, that they can continue to provide for themselves and their families. Another one that I thought about was future investors. Right now, this private company is right at the position where they want to go public, and they're about to have their initial public offering. And so it's very important that those future investors get true and accurate financials, that they're able to make good, clean decisions for their investing off of the financials. The last one I thought about was the AP clerk. I think it's ultimately our goal in this life is to become the best individuals that we can be. And while it may be hard for this AP clerk to recover from this situation because he's embezzled $250,000, I think they owe it to him to help him become a better individual. So I think those are the individuals and the different groups that David and John owe responsibility to handle this situation correctly. Next, we'll hop over, and one of the next questions was, if Stanton were to agree to not report the embezzlement, would he be violating the integrity of the due care rule in the AICPA Code of Professional Conduct? And as I read through the AICPA Code of Professional Conduct, there were two phrases that really struck me. The first phrase was, shall not knowingly misrepresent facts, and the second phrase was, observe the profession's technical and ethical standards. I think that it is pretty clear that if Stanton were to decide not to report it, that he would be breaking the Code of Professional Conduct. Right there, he would knowingly be misrepresenting facts, and he would be going against the ethical and technical standards that he agreed to as he became a CPA. Towards the end here, we wanna look at this, and it says, assume Stanton is preparing for the meeting with Lasky. Consider the following in deciding what he should do. And I think in preparing to meet with Lasky, the CEO, I think John can share the Arthur Anderson incident or any similar incident and explain kind of what happened. I think that those situations that have happened before can be very valuable learning tools. Another thing I think that can happen was, her name was Diane Hopkins. She is also a CPA for this private company. She understands, kind of where John's at and his thought process. They're both CPAs, so I think they can lean and support on each other as they go through this process of resolving this embezzlement. Stanton, I think he can help Lasky understand the responsibilities of the CEO, which is to provide high quality services, to give accurate financials to the users of the financials. And I think that if Stanton were able to help Lasky understand that, I think it'd be very valuable in their meeting. And the last thing I thought about was, successful companies are successful because they provide either a high quality service or a high quality product, and that will ultimately provide this company to continue to be successful even if they report this and people kind of panic learning that the company hasn't been involved in this. Towards the end, just my last thought was, what are Stanton's last resort if Lassie orders him to just drop it? I think Stanton needs to look at what is important to him and what are his values. He needs to ultimately decide what that is, and then he needs to act on that. And I think that for me is reporting the embezzlement, quitting the job if I need to. We just want to be truthful and honest and have that integrity. So this case, the thought process Stanton can go through as he helps resolve this issue.